What is up, everybody? Spree Gaming here, and today we're going to be talking about Highguard, a game some people say is already dead while others think it's just getting way too much hate. I put in some real hours, so let's go ahead and get into a quick, honest review. No BS. Highguard is one of the newest hero shooters to hit the market. While some feel it's dead on arrival, others think it's just become a victim of hate. Today I'm giving you a quick breakdown and an honest review. Before we start, I'm gonna be real. It was hard finding enough pros to match the cons. At first I was getting absolutely mossed for a day or two, but once I settled in, I did start to have fun. That said, a lot of stuff could have been better. First and foremost, the maps were huge. Big open space where you can think, some wars would go down, but it's quickly avoided once you get the sword. Opposite players, the enemies, they would jump back to their base to protect the base and wait for you to plant the sword. And if you were the team with the sword, you would only go past the halfway point up until time ran out just to get the automatic raid, which was a big waste of time. No action, nothing. This made the map useless and to some degree extremely boring, and you have to wait with no action going on, which really sucks, and that's the whole point of the game. Now stack that with the gear up looting phase, and you spend way too much time not shooting anybody in a shooter game. Players avoid fights early on just because they don't want to lose shields. Every death burns one. That means more crystal farming, more buying shields, and less action, especially in the early phases. They would mainly want to engage once the raids began. The revive system also kills momentum. If you die and your orb isn't thirsted, you're waiting and nobody wants to revive you, you respawn back at the base, far from the fight, and have to run all the way back to where the fight and the action is. Now, pre-raid, that takes forever, but during the raids, you spawn near the enemy base, which helps, but the respawn timer is still long. Just from that alone, I can see why people quit early or straight up hate the game. It's frustrating and honestly understandable. And I haven't even touched on the grindy battle pass, character and weapon balance, lack of POI, weak store variety, time to kill, footstep audio, and graphic optimization. But let's switch it up. The pros. I had fun. I played with Silencer for a few days before the big patch and the new warden dropped, and we actually had a blast. Yeah, the game clearly lacks polish, but it's also something different. You got the mounted animals for mobility, little animal drive-bys were hilarious. Raids and fighting for the sword felt intense. Even planting the sword had its moments. The game isn't perfect, but it does have potential. Unfortunately, while I'm making this review, I learned that a chunk of the dev team was laid off due to poor performance, or whatever you want to call it. And one of the developers even blamed content creators for the hate train. Now on Steam, the game has over 14K negative reviews. If we do quick math, peak players count, I believe, hit around 97K. You take away those 14K reviews, that still leaves you with 83,000 people who tried it, and with retention being low, the truth is, most just didn't like it. So here's my honest take. I had fun, I recommend giving it a try, and I totally understand if it's not your vibe. If the game dies, I hope they drop all remaining content at once and give it until the end of the year to kind of spark a second wave. Concord lasted 2 weeks? I don't think Highguard belongs in the same conversation as Concord, even though they hired some devs from Concord. I still think the game has a little bit of potential left, a little life, if they make the right changes. It's really up to people to give it a fair shake and play the game. Matches were about 8 minutes or 35 minutes depending on gameplay, and you got people writing reviews with less than 5 minutes or 14 minutes. So they never got to play a real full game. So I understand people just playing the game, hitting those frustrating cons that I just spoke about, and completely leaving the game alone. But once you get past that threshold, it has potential, and it was fun for me. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. A lot of people say that it's trash. I want to see what the consensus is in the comment section. Let me know down below. Very excited for the new warden. I'm gonna try it out. I hope this game just lasts long enough for people to realize its potential, but I also see where it's gonna be, you're gonna have to change the whole game in order for people to like it and play it, and I feel like that's gonna be too much for the developers.